Wishing for a Christmas mortgage miracle? Patriot Trading Group wants to make your wish come true. Just enter to win on Family Values Radio website, and you can enjoy having your mortgage paid for a year. That's right. It's the Christmas Mortgage Miracle Contest, where if you win, you'll have all kinds of extra money for other things, like a vacation, new clothes, new giant screen TV with whole home audio, whatever else may be on your wish list, because the winner will receive their mortgage or rent payments covered for a year. To enter, go to FamilyValuesRadio1010.com and click on the banner. Enter once each day to increase your chances to win, and look for bonus entry opportunities. That's FamilyValuesRadio1010.com, and enter the Christmas Mortgage Miracle Contest, sponsored by Patriot Trading Group. See our website for details.
Good morning and welcome to Thursday. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And how you doing? Heating up a little bit here in the Valley. Going to be in the 70s, and I think on the weekends we're going to get back into the 80s, but it is primo golfing weather. I will be golfing tomorrow, so if you want to talk to me, call me today. I'll be in for a little while tomorrow, but then after golf, it is senior night for my son, who's football senior night. We haven't actually played in the last couple of weeks because of COVID. We had, I believe it or not, one of our coaches came down with COVID, and we are sitting out. But tomorrow we get to start practice again for the final. We have one more regular season game next Friday, and then after practice, they are going to have senior night. I don't know how it's all going to work, but it's just another one of these things that we've allowed COVID to take away from all of us. The shutdown news is everywhere. President-elect Joe Biden, his COVID-19 task force recommending a nationwide shutdown for 4 to 6 weeks. And right on cue, all the liberal states, unfortunately, not just liberal states, but mostly shutdowns now in New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Minnesota, San Francisco, I think Indiana, Wisconsin. I mean, it's too many to keep track of. A lot of them going to everything needs to be closed by 10 p.m. And I don't know what happened. Maybe COVID gets more dangerous at 10:01. But yes, I heard one governor say, well, we figured out that parties and bars after 10 p.m., yes, that's where the big spreads are. No gatherings, Thanksgiving, watch it, right? They don't want you to have your family over for Thanksgiving. Just incredible what's happening, and I don't know where it ends. I really don't. We will talk vaccine today. I learned something new, and when I learn something new, I like to tell you about the something new. This pertains to the Pfizer vaccine. This also pertains to the Moderna vaccine, which the Moderna vaccine, that one's next. Okay, so we should hear something from Moderna in the next couple of weeks, but something very, very interesting. And again, I've already told you I'm not taking it. And after you hear what I have to say today, there may be a lot more people that view it the same way. But we'll get to that in just a minute. Before the show, I was drinking my CBD cocoa. I do love cocoa. Cocoa and me, I have this, love-hate relationship with cocoa. Oh, I so love it. And here in Arizona, any time the temperature's below 90, I feel like it's time to drink some cocoa. But of course, it's Well, let's just say too much cocoa makes you into a fat guy with a beard, and that's kind of where me and old Saint Nick, we got a lot in common going on right now. No shave November, so I've got the beard going right now, and man, there's a lot of gray in it. You know, when you hit 50, that's just what happens. But a lot of you have been waiting. You know, we had teased this CBD. We've got the best CBD going, all made in. All of it from Colorado, all grown in Colorado, labs in Colorado, the processing's in Colorado, the manufacturing of it's all in Colorado. We got all the COAs that go with it. For those of you that don't know, the COAs actually prove the quality of the product. It also lets you know that there's no marijuana in it, no THC, and how good the product is. We got all of that. But we've been waiting for approval to take credit card, allow people to pay us. Man, I won't go into all the details of how long it has taken us, but I got word yesterday we are in the final stage of approval. So fingers crossed here in the next. Now, of course, they're saying it could be up to 2 weeks. I'm like, up to 2 weeks? I mean, well, again, maybe, all the information I had to provide, it probably would take 2 weeks to get it. It's like the tax code, all the stuff I had to send them. But hopefully here very, very soon on the 1360 webpage, we'll have that shopping cart up and running. If you've ever wanted to try CBD, our products that we're going to be selling through My Kind, the best. Our prices are going to be the best. And that is coming very, very soon. We want to have it out there, before Christmas, because CBD is not cheap. But I was able to get the CBD cocoa. Not that, I don't want to influence anybody, but it is delicious. 800-951-0592. Of course, we do gold and silver here. Just a little shameless plug for 1360 up there in Johnstown, the mothership. And all the great things we're doing and reaching out to local Colorado businesses and all of the other things that we're doing up there. So many great things. And, of course, KXXT, the team down here, Ramon, our producer down here, he's the best in the business. We got a lot of great things happening. When we get back, things that you may want to know about this new vaccine. 800-951-0592. Before we get to, and we're going to get to Moderna and Pfizer here in just a second, but Arlene, she waits till I'm on the air before telling me things. Florida. The governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, he's tired of the looting, the rioting, and all that nonsense. And he's trying to ensure, hey, it ain't going to happen here. And I think, you know what, you want to fix it? It's so easy to fix. And this is the part that just drives you nuts. But he's reportedly going to try to expand the state's Stand Your Ground law to include an anti-mob provisions that would allow for armed residents to legally shoot and kill looters. Pretty simple. Hey, you want to break into my store? You want to throw boulders into my windows? You want to take away my livelihood? Down you go. Yeah, right? That pretty much fixed it. Problem solved. Again, it's sad that this is the world that we live in today, but hopefully that will come out everywhere. We know it won't, but wishful thinking never hurt anybody. But that would fix it. That would fix it, right? Yeah, protest all you want. I'm down for it. It's what America's based upon. But the second you resort to rioting and looting and this absolute nonsense that we've been witnessing here in 2020, something's got to change. And this is what's polarizing the nation. Half the people in America, I just read that, half the people, the horror of this. These people deserve to loot and riot, and the other half's like, amen, brother. Crazy. Speaking of crazy, let's talk about these vaccines. So we have the news from Pfizer, which, man, does that the aroma, the stench of the Pfizer CEO with his stock sale on Monday, just, again, make another reason why we distrust. When you talk about why all the distrust, that's why. It's one of the reasons why. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, got to listen to yesterday's show. Apparently, the Pfizer CEO knew exactly when he was going to be making this big announcement and filed forms with the SEC a month or so ago to sell his stock, over 60% of his stock holdings. Just so happens on Monday, the same day he made that big announcement, came out, he was all over TV Monday. Well, we're learning new things about what they're calling, this is a new type of vaccine, first of all. This is part of what you need to know. This isn't the vaccine like polio and smallpox and measles. Those vaccines you would put dead cells, dead polio, dead measles, dead bumps in there, and then your body would be able to produce the antibodies to fight that disease. And that's how vaccines have worked for a very, very long time. That is not the Pfizer or soon to be the Moderna vaccines. This is a new type of vaccine. They're calling it messenger RNA. So if you ever see small m RNA, that's messenger RNA. It's a new type of vaccine. And what they're talking about, obviously, first of all, we've never seen this type of a vaccine, and begs the question of how safe that it really is going to be. There's never been a messenger RNA ever approved by the FDA or any other government agency. Already, as you know, a lot of us don't know that we don't believe that vaccines are safe, regardless of their source or their mechanism. And others will also decline the vaccine because of, COVID is just another flu. But many other people are soon going to learn, because there is so little known about any long-term effects. And already when you think of COVID, I just looked it up yesterday. Even after, all the horrible things that happened early on in New York and New Jersey, do you know the death rate of COVID? The death rate of COVID here in the United States is about 2.5%. And that number's starting to fall as we get better at treating it. But roughly, I would say roughly, it's about 2%. Okay, so it's not like it's this horrible killer of all times. But even still, they're talking about this new mechanism, this new RNA, which generates an immune response. And so here's how it works. What they're saying is The old viruses worked by introducing an inactive virus or virus particle, like we just talked about, into the bloodstream. And it activates the immune system to create antibodies. That's the way it used to work. Messenger RNA, they say, was discovered in 1961. DNA is a set of instructions, right? We know this, a blueprint. And we know, like, when the instructions get messed up, right? We have, different things that could happen, mutations, if you will. But messenger RNA is a key part of what they're saying is the cellular machinery that copies a strand of the DNA blueprint and builds a protein based on the DNA instructions. These new vaccines don't introduce a viral particle. So that's not what they're doing. They're not putting dead or inactive COVID into the vaccine to get your immune system to create the antibodies. No, what they're doing is they're delivering cellular instructions for a viral particle which our cells reproduce once the mRNA enters our cells and delivers the quote-unquote blueprint for assembling the viral particle. Kind of scary when you think about it. Hey, we're going to change the instructions. What could go wrong? Right? What could possibly happen by changing the instructions? The Moderna vaccine works on this RNA, and so does the Pfizer vaccine. These are the first messenger RNA vaccines ever seeking approval for human use. There are no long-term studies of what may go wrong down the road. One of the things that I think about is, okay, let's assume, and I know maybe we shouldn't even assume this, that the instructions that they're giving help fight COVID, okay? So let's just assume that that part is true. Hey, these new instructions, they're going to kill the COVID, right? Or greatly reduce, 90% effective. The problem is you just changed the instructions. It's not like the instructions go away. So what else is it going to do? What happens the next time you get a cold? Right? What will it do? What will it do if you get the flu? What will it do if whatever happens? We don't know. Could you imagine the vaccine for COVID ends up, because you changed the instructions of how cellular DNA works, ends up causing more damage than good? I mean, we just don't. And again, I want to be wrong on that. I'm just saying we need to know this stuff. Why isn't this being told to us? One concern, as this article goes on, is that the vaccine could trigger a generalized immune response rather than just a specific immune response, right? Just what I was just saying. Hey, wait, what does it respond to everything else out there? Our immune systems are extremely complicated. And we find out more and more, right? The introduction of drugs is probably one of those things, you go back to the Rockefellers, always somehow always goes back to the uber rich of the Illuminati. They were the ones that pushed this new modern medicine. And as more of us learn more about all these alternative things, we try to take things that occur naturally in nature, because the body and its immune system, in harmony and all these other things, not to be a tree hugger, but you know what I'm saying. CBD cocoa, right? After a hard game of pickleball, hey, I like, it helps out. I don't have to take a fistful of ibuprofens. But now we're saying, wait a minute, here's this new thing that's supposed to trigger a response in the body that we're going to change the body's immune system. The danger is it could trigger an all-hands-on-deck response that could then cascade into an autoimmune disorder in which the immune system goes haywire, attacking all the cells, right? I mean, we get it. We understand. I'm just saying, this is way too fast, way too soon. Now it's like, oh, wait a minute. This isn't even the vaccines that we knew, right? We kind of know how when we implement these particles, the inactive cells into our bodies, right? We have a long history of this. And I just start thinking, and I try not to go there, but I just can't help it. Population control, right? Comes to mind. We got this virus. We're going to, quote unquote, vaccinate everybody. I don't know. Just thought you should know. Draw your own conclusion. I'm not saying that it's good or it's bad. I don't know. This could be the best thing since sliced bread. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe Jaquint here, talking about this new vaccine that we're all getting ready to be rammed down our throats, the messenger RNA. Again, maybe fantastic. Could be. But when I read about it, I'm like, that's kind of drastic. Potential to be a super killer. And we don't know how it reacts with any other thing. I mean, you're going to permanently change the directions of our immune system? And let me ask you. Listen, I could get it. I get it. If COVID was truly the killer they claim it to be. I mean, if 1 out of every 2 or 1 out of every 3 people died from it, okay, yeah, let's take a shot. But we're talking about 2% in falling? Right? At some point, herd immunity and these other things kick in and we're better at treating it, and just seems awfully drastic. So we're getting ready to enter year 2 of this, right? I mean, 2020 is almost over. Joe Biden's crack staff's already said, hey, we want to lock her down. Another 4 to 6 weeks. And then I read this ridiculous article that says two-thirds of Americans are in favor of another lockdown? What? Are you kidding me? Now, again, I obviously don't hang out with the right people. Nobody I talk to wants this to happen at all. So I looked it up. We've got about 330 million people in the country. If 2% of them died, that'd be about 6.6 million. Sounds like a lot. Well, how many people die in the United States a year normally? Well, guess what? Here, shocker, like 3 million people. So we're getting ready to enter year 2, right? I mean, we're going to have about the same number of people. I just don't know that the squeeze is worth the juice. And then I just start to think, and I don't want to, but I can't help it. My mind slowly goes to, what are they really up to? Because they lie to us so many times about everything. You know, I liken it to, and we all know. You know, there's certain kids, they just lie, right? And it doesn't even have to be about anything that hey, I'm in trouble about. They just lie about it all. You never know what's true. What did you have for breakfast today? They'll tell you they had cereal when they ate donuts, right? I mean, you know, they just do. Well, that's kind of like the government. They're always lying to us. The bankers always lying to us. You know, I go back to too big to fail. There was 2 big things in the too big to fail. 2 really big things. Number 1, they increased the amount of FDIC insurance to $250,000. That was a big deal because it was only $100,000 before. Secondly, they told us that the banks had to keep better loans on their books. In other words, they limited how many junk loans you could have, how many B-rated loans you could have, right? And you had to carry more good loans, right? That A-plus paper, right? Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, right? Give us all this warm fuzzy. Over the last 2 weeks, I told you, they just got rid of them. There wasn't some big thing on CNBC. Jim Cramer didn't talk about it. Maria Bartiromo certainly didn't mention it. Stuart Varney didn't say a peep. Your financial planner didn't call you on the phone. Do you know that the central bankers, Jay Powell, all the central bank governors, they just issued a little press release a couple weeks ago where all but one voted that, you know what, because of COVID, we're going to allow for these banks to carry a lot more crappy loans. Right now, of course, that was the problem with the financial crisis, too many crappy loans. Yeah, only one banker voted against it. And when she did it, and by the way, it was Lael Bernard, if you want to know who it was. I think she was more lobbying to be the head of the next central bank or to be the next Treasury chief. By the way, did you hear Joe Biden, a new leader maybe as the next Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen? Yeah, tells you all you need to know, doesn't it? The bankers are in charge. You know what she said? She said, oh, I'm all for it. But I think they allow too much. She wanted to, you know, hey, I want to allow them to carry more bad loans, but not this much more. She just thought, okay, that's dangerous now. So hardly a real dissent. And then right on cue, right after that, what did we learn from the FDIC? Hey, listen, there's a process here. We're not just going to blindly hand you $250,000. Oh, no. No. See, we got a new rule. And anybody who has a bank account come December the 1st of 2020, by having the account, just by having it, you agree. I mean, what are we gonna do? Close our bank account? We gotta bank. Gotta be able to pay our bills. Gotta be able to get our paycheck. Now they're gonna have a formula. Oh, and you got to apply too. Yeah, and then they'll determine how much of your money you really need. Of course, it's not your money. I told you that all. I've educated you from day one about this. Crazy. I don't know. Blowing something up. Listen, 2% death rate is bad. It's not great. 6 million people, that's a lot of people. But is it worth all this? And what are the ramifications of what we're about to do? Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. Just thought that everybody needed to know. This is a new type of vaccine. They're changing the instructions of our immune system. Messenger RNA, it's called. You can do your research from there. I'm not a doctor. Don't know anything about anything when it comes to medicine. But, man, this just seems awfully, awfully scary to be messing with the instructions of our own immune systems and how complicated they are. Listen, I know we got brilliant people out there. But, I mean, heart disease and cancer kills way more people than COVID. Why aren't we changing the instruction for that? What could go wrong? Seems like a lot. But, again, population control and all these things come to mind, and all these, the conspiracy theorist, right? And I don't want to get into that, but man, how many times do they turn out to be right? Too many, that's for sure. Getting back, jobless claim. We had jobless claims today, another over 700,000 again. It was down, which is good, but not enough. I mean, job creation's gone way down, where jobless claims are only down about 100,000 a week. And I'm getting a little worried, especially with all these shutdowns. At least a dozen states now, and really, if not the entire state, in the state where most people live, the large population areas, shutting everything down at 10 o'clock. Shutting everything, that just means more layoffs. And I don't know why COVID is worse at 10 p.m. versus 10 a.m. It doesn't, right? It's not passing the sniff test, but again, they're just making stuff up. Joe Biden's now his task force, they want to shut down for 4 to 6 weeks. And, once you shut down for 4 to 6, what's another 4 to 6, right? We're whether or not, and I know there's some of you out there, hey, Trump's still going to win. Maybe. I would love that to be, but right now we got to go with what we know. Joe Biden is supposed to be the next president. He's the president-elect. And a little over, 9 weeks from today. The COVID numbers are jumping by leaps and bounds, and if they're still way up there when he takes office, I'm telling you, another shutdown's coming. What does that mean? Dude, that just means huge deficits. I mean, they're already massive. We already need another $2 trillion, $3 trillion, now another shutdown figure, another $2, $3, $4 trillion, right? I mean, big things. Get your gold, get your financial house in order. We've got an item today that in the 17 years that I've been doing this, maybe once or twice, less than a handful, that I've ever run this item because it's expensive. And you know me, I want us to have as much gold as possible, as close to spot as possible, while staying as private as possible. That's our philosophy. This is an item that at this price, I think it's the best thing going. When you talk about gold and silver, right, pre-1933, you got the Liberties, you got the Saints. The Liberties are the older ones. We like to stay at the bottom end, right? Hey, these are just circulated coins. Don't worry about grade. They're nice looking. Everything's legible, blah, blah, blah. But we also know in the coin world, you got graded. Like 0 to 10, but in the coin world, it's 60 to 70. Mint state, they call it. And the higher up the scale, the more the coin's worth because it's got, less damage, less coin marks, less scratches, less this, less that. In the graded world, when you get to mint state 63 and higher, especially in the Liberty series, things get really expensive. As an example, a mint state 63 $20 gold piece. Okay. Liberty. Okay. 1866 to 1907. Right now, an ungraded one at the very bottom end is $2,115. Gold's up $20 today. $2,115. We have mint state 63 $20 Liberties today for $22.95. $22.95. There's about 100 of them. And you're like, hey, that's $180 more, which it is. It's $180 more, but you're going up like 10 grades to get there. Normally, right now, if you go out to my website, I've got Mint State 63 $20 Liberties. We sell them. We're on our website. They're $2,510, $2,509 and change. So you're saving over $200 a coin today. I think it's well worth the money. Mint State 63 $20 Liberties always carry big premiums. And I mean $400, $500, $600 premiums. To get them for only $180 more it's a great opportunity if that interests you. MS 63 $20 Liberties at $22.95. 800-951-0592. Final segment coming up. Eight 800-951-0592. MS 63 $20 Liberties. I can't even tell you the last time we ran a 63 Liberty. We've done some Saints here or there because the Saints are, especially when you get to Mint State 63, the even 62s now. 62s, the Saints are cheaper. 63 a lot cheaper. The Liberty series, because they're older. Not that many are in this good of condition. And again, I hate paying collectible prices. I don't want you to do it, but this one's it's a steal. Take a shot, put it away, see how it compares to the rest. I mean, you're saving $215, right? At $2,500, don't buy it. Don't do it. This is stuff. Listen, these coins on TV, $3,000. Most of our competitors out there, $2,600, $2,700, $2,800, and really, TV is probably $4,000 on TV. $22.95 for Mint State 63s. That means they come in that hard plastic case. These are PCGS and NGCs. I want to just make sure. Yep, PCGS and NGCs. Right, the two best grading services in the world. Mint State 63s save $214. I'm going to round up $215 a piece in savings today at 800-951-0592. 0592. Take the time, put them away. If we get a good response when I get deals like this, I'll do a little more of them. But this one just jumped off the page. I actually had to call, and I didn't call. I told Arlene, call them. This can't be right. This got to be a misprint. Got to be. Someone, it happened, fat finger. They said, nope, that's the deal today. So there you have it. 75 MS63 $20 Liberties at $22.95 this morning. Gold's up almost $20, $1,881. Silver is higher as well, up about 15 cents or so, $24.40. The Dow is down 100, only about 150, not that much really. S&P, NASDAQ are all lower, as well as, at least for me, I think everyone's starting to learn a little bit more about the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine. And remember, the Pfizer vaccine's got to be stored at negative 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's going to be, distribution of this vaccine is going to be slow and difficult. Not to mention, oh, by the way, just to let you know, the Biden administration has already let it be known that the vaccine should be distributed globally, which will mean it'll be even longer here because they don't have that many doses available. They think by the end of 2021 they could have about 1.4 billion. You got to take 2 doses, so that means that's about 700 million. There's 7 billion people in the world, so you can kind of see the math doesn't quite add up to what they're making it out to be. 800-951-0592. God bless everybody. And again, I don't want to detract. This may be a great vaccine, but boy, there's a lot of questions here. Be safe. Here's the good news. Tomorrow, it's Friday. Take care.